His 134th appearance with the Hilltoppers, and he begins it with a base hit out into center field. Of whether that should stay or not, as that one's whacked into center. And Kale Frost says, I don't care.
So I think we can use both our first game and our long game. I think it's a different game for us offensively.
Hilltopper baseball had a successful get-back series this past weekend against the New Mexico State Aggies.
And Hilltopper softball struggled in conference against the Flames, but broke a program record in Evansville.
Plus, Region 4 baseball brings us some top plays and close games.
And in the circle, one team has rose above the rest. Logan Blanford got to know the secret behind the undefeated Lady Spartan squad. All this and more next on The Extra Point.
Pass is called, one-handed grab. Are you kidding me, Dalvin?
Dug up with space, inside the 10, looks to break the tackle, and he breaks the end zone.
They will keep it on the ground with Wales. Not only will he get the first down, he'll get the touchdown and the championship.
Use it for Rogers for three for the win. Western Kentucky does it great.
The grass is red in Kentucky. Holy moly.
The Hilltoppers are champions of Conference USA.
Welcome into Studio 2. My name is Jacob Fox, and I am alongside Lincoln Bryant. Lincoln, what are you most excited to talk about today on the show?
Well, there's a lot of things that are going right now, and it's pretty fun to talk about. We got to talk about some Hilltopper baseball, got to talk about some Hilltopper softball, and then along with that, you got some Region 4 stuff heating up with the softball team from South Warren.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Buddy,
Number 4 in the country. They're playing pretty well right now. I'm excited to little highlight read on these baseball and softball games. It's gonna be a pretty exciting show.
You know what else is pretty hot right now? It's the Hilltopper headlines. For our first Hilltopper headline, Hilltopper football hosted the red and white spring game at the Houch. After the game, Coach Helton emphasized the importance of the spring game, saying, quote, "It makes a winning culture," end quote. This is a time where a lot of new freshmen and transfers have a chance to prove themselves and get a roster spot for next season. But a big part of this event was seeing how starting quarterback Rodney Tisdale Jr. looked after a successful last season, earning his spot. According to reporter Eli Thompson, Tisdale was showing off the running ability as a dual threat QB and is looking great for next season, Jacob.
For our second Hilltopper headline, WKU men's basketball lands their first commitment of the transfer portal cycle. Sharon Young is a 6-foot, 160-pound point guard that spent his last 2 seasons at Akron. His freshman season, he averaged 7.4 points per game, and last season he averaged 7.2 points per game while playing 19 minutes per game. WKU sports fans will find out in the next few weeks if this will be their starting point guard for next season.
And now lastly for our third Hilltopper headline, going from the court to the diamond, where the Hilltopper softball team has now broke the program total home run record with 51 homers, with Annie White tallying the record-breaking homer against the Evansville Aces Wednesday night, beating the record of 50 held by the 2017 and 2013 teams. This is just a small stat compared to the star-studded offense so far this season, grabbing the win Wednesday, improving to 30 total wins on the season, Jacob. This softball team has just been phenomenal. You see the momentum, you see the bubble guns going off, you know it's hype, the momentum's there, and then they get this amazing record. You know there's going to be more to come for this team.
Oh, for sure, and they got more games to play. It's not like they broke the home run record on the last game of the regular season. They got a lot more games to play, and they got a chance to crush that record and not just beat it by a little bit.
Dude, there's a lot more left. I mean, Amy Tudor's going to talk about it later in the show that this team's got a lot of momentum. They know what they're doing. And you see the home runs, you see the batting average, and that's what you didn't see from the team last season was just the consistency of their offense. The high batting averages like Annie White, Kendall White, everybody just having success.
Yes, they've had success all season long, but coming up, we'll take it to the diamond to talk all things Hilltopper baseball and their conference play next on The Extra Point.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. if I'm really free. Take me down to the river and walk.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Which is 24, that's 11th. That one is crushed into left, and it's got a shot to be number 12. Not just a shot, count it. That's a bomb off the bat of Kyle Hayes.
That was a laser. I mean it barely, it just kept going up and up.
But I mean, when you got a good team and you got a good culture, I mean, someone else has got to step up, and even multiple guys.
Bombs, and a little bit more bombs. Welcome back into Studio 2, and the Hilltoppers impressed this weekend with the series win over New Mexico State. Lincoln, how did they do it?
Well, you know, it's one of those things that you look at and it's really impressive because this team, you haven't seen the constant momentum of offense from them. They improved their record from 5-7 to 7-8 in CUSA play. So that's one of those things where they have to get that up because it was not looking so good so far this season. And you like to look at those stats right there with the team batting average. That stands out to me. The 310, like that's something that is just phenomenal to look at. You saw the momentum in the dugout, and that's what they need to keep up.
Yes, and the hitting being good for WKU is very important, especially when you see the team ERA above a 5. That is really helpful when your offense can roll. But a player that fueled that baseball tops offense against the Aggies was Austin Holland.
Yeah, this guy was all over the ball. You don't normally see this from him. This is definitely his best series so far this season. And then one of those games, he went 3 for 4, which was already 3 of those 5 hits that you're seeing on your screen right now. He had the RBIs. And one thing that stands out to me that he has been always dominant on is at the shortstop position. No errors. He's clean with it. Turns those double plays cleanly.
Yes, that is really helpful when you can have a guy that's a spark for your offense, helps that order top to bottom, and can go out on the field, not make defensive errors, and really help that pitching staff when they are struggling a little bit in these games.
Yeah, you're right. And another thing that he's also really good at is discipline, play disciplines, because sometimes you see those things where he's striking out and he's your leadoff guy. You want him to get on base. And so he did that extremely well against the Aggies. 0 strikeouts. Is really impressive.
Yes, him being able to put the ball in play and make the defense make a play. Because if you make the defense make a play, that means there is a better chance for you to get on base and get that offense rolling a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. You talk about getting the offense rolling. That's just really what they needed to do. But now let's hear what Coach Reardon has to say about his Hilltoppers that are pursuing through injuries in this past series.
I mean, you know, by the numbers and by I call your pillars in the program, you know, Howard, the second-year guy, and Arroyos is our leading hitter and leading in a lot of our offensive categories, and they're just out right now with hand injuries, and they'll be back. But, you know, we're going to have to do it again tomorrow without them. So to win a series without Arroyos, win today then without Howard and Arroyos, and then have to do it tomorrow, I mean, you know, I'll take it. But, I mean, when you got a good team and you got a good culture, I mean, someone else has got to step up, and even multiple guys can step up.
After that weekend series, we move into midweek play where the Tops went up to Louisville for a rematch. Jacob, you saw what Coach Rader was talking about, the injuries, how people have to step up for the team, and you saw the effects of the injuries in this loss to Louisville.
Yes, and I think the biggest thing in this loss to Louisville was the bats. As you saw in the last game against Louisville at WKU, they had 16 hits, and this time around they only had 6, which really struggled. They really struggled against Louisville.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, one of the big things that was the problem in this game is the 10 runners left on base. For Western Kentucky, it's been about momentum, and they haven't had that. They didn't have that in this game because you see the 176 batting average. That's one of those things where it's like the team didn't have the hits going, the bats weren't fluent, the dugout didn't have the momentum.
Exactly. And when your pitching staff all season long, especially in that New Mexico State series and in this game, struggling a little bit, you need the bats to come alive, and they just couldn't do that. They couldn't find any momentum. They got down in this game 7-1 against Louisville, I believe, in the 5th inning. That really didn't help them try to gain a little bit of momentum, come back in this game, and make a little bit of a push.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those things where you look at it, the Hilltoppers beat them back in March, and so that was really impressive. But this is a Louisville team that's really a really strong team. So for Western Kentucky to continue to have close games against this squad, that's also really impressive. So it's one of those things where you're heading into Missouri State this weekend, and so that's going to be where you take this strong competition that you're playing against, and you can do it against them as well.
Exactly, and there's no reason to overreact about midweek baseball because a lot of different moving parts are happening. But we transition into a weekend series where the Hilltoppers are headed to Springfield, Missouri to take on the Bears. Lincoln, what does this Bears team bring to the table?
Well, this Bear team brings a full suitcase, Jacob. You see it right there on your screen already. The Tops are heading up to Springfield, and they're 15-0 at home there. So this team's scary. They are second in the conference. So the Bears are Bears.
Yes, they are Bears in Conference USA. Second in the conference, a .308 batting average. This team can hit the ball. But the one thing that Missouri State may not do too well is the pitching staff. 5.54 ERA. That is not extremely good. But on the hitting side of the ball, a player that the Tops will have to look out for in this weekend series is sophomore Logan Fife.
Yeah, this guy's he's one of those Bears on this Bears team. He's got the .391 batting average so far. He's just almost hitting 400, Jacob. That's really impressive. He leads the team in hits with the 45, and then he's got 31 RBIs. But the thing about this guy to me is you got to get this guy late in the counts because he's an aggressive player that's going to hack early because you see right there the 8 walks. So that's what you have to take advantage of because he's not good later in counts.
Exactly. The biggest thing WKU is going to need to do against them is off-speed, off-speed, off-speed. Get ahead in the counts. You do not want to fall behind 2-0 against this guy because you are going to have to throw that fastball or that hanging breaker, and this guy could send it to the moon or in a gap or anywhere on the field, and you are not going to like your day at the ballpark. So the biggest thing for WKU, get ahead, and then that's when you can really mess him up with an off-speed, with a high fastball, something like that where he's going to have to chase pitches out of the zone to hammer those pitches.
Yeah, you're right. Especially you talked about the pitching, so that's what Western Kentucky is going to have to dominate on. Is their offense going to be able to get started early? That's where my questions start to arise because you take a look at this Missouri State Bears lineup, and it's just dominant all the way through. They can hit the home runs, and so it's just you got to capitalize at the pitching. It starts there.
Exactly, and going to a place where this team is extremely good at home, it is going to be really hard for WKU if they do not have the bats, if their pitching doesn't show up to win those games. But coming up, we will stay on the diamond, but switch it from a white ball to a yellow ball.
We will talk about the softball Tops' recent games and their upcoming series next on The Extra Point.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School, college first-round draft pick. On and off the field, we were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. But then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I wish that'd be my entrance to the newsroom. Hey, everybody dab me up. Give me some. Yep. Anyways, welcome back to the Extra Point. The softball Tops lost their first conference weekend series since Jacksonville State in March. Jacob, what happened in this series?
This series was very interesting because I thought both teams came out, didn't play their best softball, and I think both teams had to just kind of dog it out, and I think Liberty won that series because they just wanted it a little bit more, won it 2-1. But here's some of the things you see on your screen. WKU holding Liberty to a 209 batting average. Extremely impressive. The thing that hurt that Tops pitching staff was the walks. Ryland Smith, 9 walks in one game. Those walks can kill you in games like this.
Yeah, you're right. They call it a dogfight, but somebody that was participating in that dogfight was Savannah Jessie, Jacob. This lady was hitting the ball really well. I mean, you look at the stats and you're like, Lincoln, those don't really jump off the paper, but I mean, you said it, a dogfight where WKU pitching was doing really good, but they were allowing walks, and that's what Savannah Jessie capitalized on with the 2 RBIs, with those free runners on bases, along with herself getting the 2 walks.
Yes, and the thing that pops out to me is the 1 strikeout. When you can go against Ryland Smith and Erica Hogue and only have 1 strikeout in the series, it's very impressive, and it really helps your team get on base, make the defense make plays, like I said with the baseball team, and those types of ways are going to be ways you win ball games.
Yeah, and it's just about adjusting, because you see these series, they just get really competitive because you're in a Conference USA series against a team that's really, really strong right now, and I feel like Western Kentucky, they did a really good job in this series. It was close back and forth, but you just had those things that just limited the game, was walks, and that is something that you can easily fix. Like, it just takes one practice to get the coaches and the players together and start a little slower. Just think about your mind. Take time, calm down, and you can get locked back in on that zone, and they'll be just fine.
Yes, and this series was for second place in Conference USA. So it was a big series. You know both teams wanted it, but Liberty coming out on top was extremely impressive. So let's take a look at what head coach Amy Tudor said post-game about the Tops' power this season.
Yeah, I think the long ball definitely helped us today. Macy and Satterley both got up and got their pitch and put a great swing on it. So one to left field, one to right field. And then we were able to use our speed. And so I think when we can use both our short game and our long game, I think it's a different game for us offensively. That's pretty cool to tie the program record. I knew we hit a lot 22, but it looks like we're on course to hopefully hit more.
The Tops took on the Evansville Aces on Wednesday, breaking a program record. But Lincoln, what else went right for the Tops on Wednesday?
It was just a phenomenal offensive performance from the whole team. You know, Annie White got the record-breaking home run, and that was really hype, and you saw it in the whole team. They knew they were doing something phenomenal, so then everybody just started to perform. You see it right there, the 375 team batting average. That's phenomenal, and then along with that, you obviously have the 12 hits, so that was really what I saw.
Yes, what I saw was Amy Tudor making adjustments in game, especially with that pitching staff. Rylan Smith comes in, doesn't have a great start, gives up 5 runs. But Erica Hogue comes in, shuts them down. That is extremely impressive to see because most of the time they just go one pitcher the whole game. And it's been one of those things like Rylan Smith against Liberty, had 9 walks, kind of felt like she was almost dying out there and it wasn't really helpful for her. But being able to go out there, make adjustments like that, and your hitting staff almost being able to break the barrier of that 51st home run and finally get it, almost let them loose a little bit, didn't make them swing for the long ball, actually played real baseball or real softball because they only had 1 home run on that game, which was in the first inning. So I believe that helped them win that game.
Yeah, you're right. And another thing that you look at for this thing, you're like Lincoln and Jacob, this was a 5-7 score. It was a close game while you're having a close game against Evansville. Well, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers know that this game is a hard game because this is an Evansville team that just took Louisville to extra innings. So it's one of those teams where you also have to lock in because they're a mid-major school that's really good.
Yes, and playing mid-major schools that are really good will help you in Conference USA play because these midweek battles at the end of the day, it's either a momentum boost for your Conference USA series or it's going to kind of pull your momentum away and kind of you feel a little cold on the season. So,
but now the softball Tops will stay home and take on the UTEP Miners. Jacob, how can the Tops get right?
The Tops can get right by dominating. This UTEP team, very unimpressive on the season. They are on an 8-game losing streak, as you see on the screen. That pitching staff has been playing pretty bad, and the errors. They make about an error a game, so to capitalize on errors is what WKU is going to need to do, and I believe they are playing right now with a game that first pitch was at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those series like I talked about earlier. It's just time to adjust. It's time to work on different things that, you know, didn't go right in that Liberty series, and I think Western Kentucky will be able to capitalize on it.
Yes, but one of UTEP's good players that's been cooking and top pitching we'll have to take note of is Marisa Burchard.
Yeah, she's one of those girls that can hit the ball really, really well. She's got the 12 doubles, so you know she's smashing the ball all around the park, getting those extra base hits. And then the 16 RBIs, that's also really impressive.
Yes, and that team batting average is a 282, and she really helps them with a 333 batting average. So this hitting squad for UTEP has been good this year, but not great, but good. And she is going to be a reason that WKU could maybe slip up in a game or two and could be the reason that UTEP maybe wins this series.
Yeah, Western Kentucky's just got to eliminate what they did against Liberty, which was those walks, because a player like Marissa is going to dominate against when she sees extra players on bases from free passes that they've given up. So they just got to limit the walks so a player like Burchard can't do that because she'll hit the extra base hits and score those free players in. So if that goes right for them, the pitching's on point, you won't have to worry about Marissa.
Exactly, and letting her on the base pass can also hurt you like those walks that WKU had against Liberty. She is 9 for 11 in stolen bases. She knows how to run on the base pass. If she gets on, she is going to be dangerous for this team and get herself into scoring position for UTEP to be able to dominate in a game or two. But coming up, we got a little 2-7 overtime segment highlighting the biggest high school baseball and softball games next on the Extra Point.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back into the Extra Point, and we've had some big games in the 270 this week. Baseball beat reporter Lincoln Bryant, I'm gonna toss it to you.
Yeah, for our first game of the night, we go to Glasgow for the Glasgow Scotties game where they're playing the Bowling Green Purples. But starting this game off, Grayson Rogers gets the ground ball, and get your cones out for this Logan Johnson scoop right there.
That's a good ice cream.
But now we've got some unfair play as Kip Waltrip steals this bag, and this guy right here is trying to figure out how. Maybe FBI, crime investigation, it's in there somewhere. But next up, Landon Gilbert rips this one to right that scores Henry Phillips, but Cooper DeGene is here?
No way.
His shoes are off.
I'm getting an autograph.
You better tie them tight, Jacob, because just like this pitch, it's in there, inside. It's okay, guys. Ian Wells ended the game with 4 Ks through 3. But then Henry Phillips rips this one to short. But Jacob, watch your feet. It's an error, but it's okay because Phillips makes it to second. And Bowling Green ended the game, Jacob, with 10 hits and 9 strikeouts to completely eliminate the Glasgow Scotties and grab a big win, 6-2. But now we go to South Warren, where the Campbellsville Eagles are playing the South Warren Spartans, but there's extra bases for Justin Capps. Handouts, Jacob. Scuba. Scuba. And now it's the Eagles' turn as Clayton Lawhorn rips this one to third, but keep your sunglasses on. That one skips past the first baseman, but clap for him because Lawhorn got to second. But next up, the Eagles are starting to fly as Ty Burwash gets this single into right field that starts the momentum for Case Eastridge as he rips this one into left for an RBI double, and we're still under the water, Jacob. Scuba! But the Spartans are in the sub as Alex Miller hits this one down the line, and that's enough to score Camden Page from second. Hey, that's what the tops do. Hey. But Tanner King has pop for a pitcher as he rips this one over the center fielder's head for an RBI triple and then slides into third. But that was not enough as the Eagles turned to sacrifice small ball with Cade Somerville laying this one down to end off a big win for Campbellsville, 11-8.
Greenwood versus ACS. We have a Region 4 clash. Let me tell you what, Wyatt Todd can kill in the swamp. He sends him packing. That's a strikeout. This batter is packing as well because the Patriots got a guy in center field. But you got to turn that hip. Can't backpedal. What are we doing? Rick Arnold will be mad about that. He'd make him run polls, but this ACS coach is making them run. I will be calling Charlie Pride after this show. Lee Jackson hits a double in the gap, but Bentley Simmons can redeem himself, and he does. That's like a gazelle in Australia. That is a Ben Simmons reference, guys. Whit Glossick plays like Bobby Witt Jr. with the snag. Gatter snatch everything. I snatch everything in Menards as well. I wonder how much this pitching lesson cost. He can hoop, but Ethan York can hit it too. He sends a York bomb to New York for 2 runs. And let that kid trot the bases. And boys, we got to get up because the Gators win this one, 10-0. The defending state champions in the Assumption Rockets travel to the 270 to face the number 4 team in the country, the South Warren Spartans. McLean Hudson bump, set, and strikes this ball over the fence with a leadoff bomb to start this game off. And in that same inning, Kenley Russell keeps that inning rolling with a drive to center field, scoring Hadley Borders from second base to make it 2-0 after 1. But now it's go time for the Rockets. But Courtney Norwood was shoving. She had 4 strikeouts in 4 innings and no earned runs on the day. She's a dog. It's Hadley Borders' hit party at the park with a 3-run bomb hit to the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And Assumption coach is now running to walk McLean Hudson because you don't want to let her.
Hurry.
But McLean Hudson, it was too late. She hits another one.
Oh.
She's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 bombs, and her averages did indeed go down on the day. Parker Willoughby drives this ball into right field, and Hadley Borders, coming around from first base, is going to be diving into home plate, and that is a walk-off run rule victory for the Spartans. They win it 15-0. After the game, Coach Reynolds talked about their mindset during the game.
Well, we started off scoring 2 in the first inning, and we've again made it one of our goals: score each inning, win each inning, and so I thought we did a good job of just piecing together and not trying to get like too many runs. It's sort of like pacing ourselves. Start off with 2, next inning score some more, next inning score some more, and then really just kind of open it up and get comfortable. And also not getting down and out. Like some of our hitters, may not have hit as well tonight, and it's being able to focus on the others and letting the others do their job to help the ones that aren't hitting out.
Coming up, we have 2 guys that have their GroupMe notifications turned off. Eli and Logan face off, talking all things NBA next inside Studio 2.
A lot of my friends told me that I wasn't going to be able to do it. You don't need to start out with a teenager because they've had all these things that they've gone through.
Could we give him the things he needed to be a successful adult?
What parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough?
That's my son.
My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before.
I had a rough time, but I saw that even though the way I was acting, they didn't push me away.
She says that we're her heroes, but she's also mine.
I've had 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
How you guys raised me is absolutely amazing, and I really, really appreciate that.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back into the Extra Point, and it's time for y'all's favorite segment, delay game between Eli and Logan. And everybody knows the rules, so let's get rolling. We're talking some NBA guys.
Okay.
Who's going to be the MVP? Logan, I'll start with you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's Victor Wembanyama. That's my fun pick of the day. He's my favorite NBA player to watch right now, because if you look at it, he can play basically every position on the floor. He's a two-way player. He's basically a 7'4" guard. He leads the league in blocks with 3 per game. He's over 50% from the field, and a bigger part of this is he has basically revived the Spurs team into contenders these past couple of years, really early in his career. He is ahead of schedule on his development. I'd like to see him win it, even though it's probably a bit of a long shot.
Looks like Eli's over here agreeing with you.
Yeah, no. I like those takes. I do like those takes. However, I have to go with a guy who I think has really built up his team he's on. He's really done good things with them, and that's Luka Doncic. I mean, he is that guy. Averages the most points per game in the league. He's averaging 8 and 8 as well. Number 1 in usage rate. I want to talk about that a little bit. He is the most used player for his team in the entire NBA. Most points and assists combined. He is used in 40 to 50% of every point scored on the Lakers. That's a guy that you can't deny. And the problem I have with Wemby is he is by far one of the craziest defenders we have ever seen in existence. But he's not an offensive unit, I think, that people give him credit for. Yes, I know 25 points per game. It's hard to say that. But I just really think if you look at it, I think Wemby is kind of short offensively, and Luka has that.
Well, I think Luka's the opposite. I think he's short defensively. If you look at him trying to play defense, he's huffing and puffing trying to get back down the court.
But he gets down the court. I just think
and
Luka's
again,
a more all-around player. I think Wemby's still developing. I think Wemby will have a way higher of a season.
I disagree. I think Victor Wembanyama is a far more better all-around player.
Nah.
Luka Doncic, and you can just look at that injury that he just suffered. that.
Yeah, 25 points per game versus 34 though. Like that's a big difference. And 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Like Luka's more.
It's a big difference, but he has to also carry his team. When you look,
the Spurs have better players than the Lakers do. The Spurs have Carter Bryant, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox.
I think the Lakers have a better supporting cast.
That's crazy.
That's
terrible. No, that's awful.
I don't know about Eli might have had that there. He's got the labels going. But next question, who's the biggest sleeper team, Logan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets.
That's a bad pick.
I think this has been a fun team to watch all year. And I think the bracket sets up well for them because they have the Lakers in the first round, which I think they can win that series. As you see, they're the 5 seed. KD's still doing it at 37 or 38 years of age or whatever he is. This team is very deep. Also, they have 7 players in double figures, and if they get past the Lakers in the first round, it'll probably be the Thunder in the second round, which that'd be tough. That'd be tough. That'd be tough. But I think if they get past that, they probably go finals.
Yeah, no, I disagree. They're getting bounced in the first, buddy. Like, they're bounced out. Like, the Lakers are way too good of a team. Your best point that you had for the Rockets was
who's your team?
The 7 in double figures. I'm getting there. Give me a second. Give me the Warriors. Stephen Curry. I did pick this team before he dropped 7 threes and had 35 points. The Golden State Warriors, they might be the 10, but they are a very good team. The 23-16 with Curry. They also have Jimmy buckets. They're 6th in forcing opponent turnovers in the league, which is essentially a very defensive-based team, and that's why I have the Draymond era defense. Draymond's a dog. For like 10 years of his career, he had the highest playoff win percentage of all time. Draymond Green is that guy. He's a defensive unit, and this Warriors team is just, they know what they're doing. It's Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry. He can go around screens all he wants. He's going to hit threes. Draymond yells at the team. Curry does his thing, and at the end of the day, they're a winning unit. They're going to beat the Suns by 11 tonight.
Logan, did you see Al Horford out there?
No, I did see Al Horford, but listen,
okay.
we're not in
I'm listening.
We're not in 4th grade no more. These Warriors are old news.
No,
come on now. Look,
you picked a 5 seed as a sleeper. That's like the highest sleeper you can pick. You picked a 5 seed.
Of course.
And they're going to get bounced
Only 1
in the
and 2
first.
seeds win the title.
They're getting bounced in the first.
You're picking a play-in team that's going to get. No, the Warriors are going to lose in the first round because they're going to go up against the Thunder. If I'm not mistaken, if they get past Suns tonight.
Yep.
Good riddance. Goodbye.
Your team's getting bounced quicker.
Excuse me?
Your team's getting bounced quicker.
I think you're.
Give me Lakers.
Your guy, but
Thunder and
based
6.
off your own logic, your guy's not playing. Luka's not playing.
Hold on. We got a third and final question.
All right.
Y'all guys talked about who's getting to the finals.
Okay.
Who's gonna win it?
Who's gonna win it?
Yeah.
I think the Thunder are gonna win it. It's not the flashiest pick in the world. But it's just hard to deny how dominant they have been this year. They had that historic start to the season. SGA's best player in the world, guys. He is. And they've been incredibly dominant. Holmgren and Williams, are right there as your supporting cast. 64-18 record. That's some pretty special stuff. And I think they're going to be the first back-to-back team to win the championship since the Warriors did it back in 2018. It's going to be 8 years. But yeah, give me the Thunder. OKC. As Gus says, when there's rain, there's thunder.
Boom. Hear ye. As the Celtics have the return of Jason Tatum, I think it's here. Let me stand up for this because it's a lot to take in.
Oh, shoot.
As the Celtics get back Jason Tatum, I don't think you understand the ability he has to create a team. Him and Brad Stevens have just made this team. If you look at it right there, Jason Tatum is back. JB's averaging 28 points per game, and get this. Jason Tatum said, Brad Stevens, let's build something iconic here. Let's make history, is what they said. And so Jason Tatum said, I need Jaylen Brown, I need Derek White, I need Peyton Pritchard, I need Porzingis. They had Porzingis for a little bit. He said all these things, and now Jason Tatum is the second best facilitator of all time. He plays just like LeBron. He's not the shooter. He's not the flashy guy. He might be in the corner sometimes, but you have to. I don't think you understand how good Jason Tatum is, and I don't think people realize it. The Celtics are winning the finals.
Are you done yet?
You got it. Here, let me sit down. You got it.
Are you done yet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, good, because I want to know who Lincoln thinks is going to win the finals.
Yeah, Lincoln, let's hear it.
Who do I think is going to win the finals? haven't watched a lot of NBA ball, so you guys know a little bit more ball than me.
Give us a pick.
I'm probably going with the Celtics. I'm not gonna lie. He just preached to me. He kind of converted me. I'm getting baptized in a little bit now.
Tell me one thing that's wrong with Jason Tatum.
Okay, it's
something
going on here between you two because you've just been on his team this whole time.
Yeah.
Come on, what's been going on?
I mean, I like the Thunder as well.
left,
The
I'm
Thunder
on the
is
right
good.
side.
He just preached though. He convinced me. He was up there labeling. I haven't seen you stand up and talk about your
Jason Tatum
team yet.
developed one of the greatest teams of all time.
All right.
Oh Lord.
I hate to leave you LPGs, guys. I hate to leave you. It was a great argument, but Logan stays. Logan's gonna stay on. You're gonna stay on. So I'm leaving. Jacob's coming on to face the champion and Gus Warren and see if he can defend his title on delay of game next on the Extra Point.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
It is time for your main event of the evening. Gus Warren looks to defend his heavyweight belt versus Logan Blanford, and we are talking NFL draft. Let us begin. For our first topic, who was the biggest reach? Logan, you're up first.
I think Ty Simpson's a huge reach. You know, this guy's been talked about as a first-round draft pick when he is just not such. You know, Alabama quarterback. You know, we saw him in that Indiana game when the lights were the brightest. He got benched at halftime of that game. He's only had 1 year of college starting experience. And when you look at quarterbacks that have been taken early with only 1 year of experience starting in college football, you know, I'm a Bears fan, so Mitch Trubisky comes to mind. They play kind of similar. You like to get sacked a lot, as you see on that graphic. Ty Simpson, no way you're taking this guy in the first round.
That's laughable. I mean, everybody knew Ty Simpson wasn't a first-round talent. I mean, if you watch the John Gruden QB school, I mean, everybody saw that. The real reach in this first round is Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq. You talk about 1 year production. Sadiq really only had 1 year, and he has crazy measurables. He had a great combine and okay stats. This is going to be another tale of a crazy combine doesn't mean he's going to have a good career. Oh, yeah, he's fast. He runs a 4.340. Yeah, he had drop issues. He only had 500 yards in that Oregon offense. He struggles blocking as a tight end. Yeah, he can mow down safeties and linebackers in the open field, but if you got a star defensive end on him, he is going to get bullied every play. Once again, you know, great measurables. Yeah, he's 6'3", 240. How many times have we seen that not work out in the NFL? This is going to be another combine warrior.
Well, here's the thing. Sadiq, I think that Oregon tight end, he's a dog. And I've actually watched him a couple times last season. He could be your next type of Kelsey Gronk type guy.
You need to work on your rage bait material, buddy. I'm going to read you something real quick.
2025
stats
buddy.
for Kenyon Sadiq: 51 catches, 560 yards, 8 touchdowns, second team All-American.
Hey,
Projected top 15 pick.
Hey, you realize
Harold Fannin, 2024, 117 catches, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, consensus All-American.
Hey, you do realize blocking's a part of being a tight end.
Hey, let me finish, buddy. Yeah, and he can't block. He can't block. He can't block against the defensive end.
That's the best part of his game, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Nothing about his game is impressive.
Yeah,
and then here we keep going. Tyler Warren, 2024 stats, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Mackey Award.
For our second
14th
topic,
overall pick.
Who is the biggest sleeper in the draft? Logan, you're up.
You're gonna like this one.
Good Lord.
Diego Pavia is the biggest sleeper in this draft. I've been telling everybody, nobody wants to touch him because everything, all his off the field issues and things like that. But you look at those, you can't deny that stat line from last season. Well, really the past 2 years at Vanderbilt, even back when he was at New Mexico State as a Conference USA player. I first discovered him as a little freshman watching him out here at the Houch beat up on the Hilltoppers. He's come a long way since then. 29 touchdowns last season. If you think about it, what was Vanderbilt football before the last couple of years since he's been there? He has made them relevant. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at some things that Pavia is going to be able to do.
Yeah, he's all right. He's a prima donna, whatever. He's pretty good. I'm a Pavia fan, but Logan, if we're talking about your history with ranking quarterbacks, you're also the same guy that said Caleb Williams will be a top 5 quarterback and MVP candidate his rookie year, and we all know how that worked out. The biggest sleeper.
What about the second year?
The biggest sleeper in the NFL draft this year is going to be linebacker Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. This guy is all over the field. 252 tackles in the past 2 seasons. That led the FBS, by the way. 7 forced fumbles. This guy has the most active hands on the field. 5th in Heisman voting last season, and he is a former quarterback. He's also a former athlete. He was recruited as an athlete on offense, a gadget guy, and he converted to the linebacker position. He can see the field from both sides. He really knows what he's doing. And if you have issues with him being undersized, Ray Lewis was 6'1", same height as him, and we saw how he turned out. Demario Davis, 6'2" linebacker. He's pretty good as well. I think he's going to be just fine. And if he doesn't work out at linebacker, he's got the safety skills.
So hold up. Well, let me
say something.
Go back to something.
You are arguing a guy that's projected to be a career backup. I am arguing a guy that's projected to be a long-time starting linebacker in the NFL.
Oh, career backup.
That's
blasphemous.
You know what? I'm taking
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something because you talk about Rodriguez being a sleeper. He's not even a sleeper because based off your logic of Sadiq in your first pick, they played against each other in the playoffs, and guess what happened to Rodriguez there in that Texas Tech
Logan,
defense?
you got to stop
they
talking.
Got shut out by
last
Oregon.
topic. What team should trade down in the draft? Can you please stop talking? I'm the anchor here. Logan, you're up first.
All right, how's that?
The Washington Commanders are they need to trade down in this draft because look, they hold the number 7 pick currently, but if you look at that kind of top 10 to 12ish range in this draft. They are kind of an outlier here because if you look at that roster, they're a playoff ready roster. They could try and build up some trade capital. Would you be quiet? I'm trying to make my point.
I'm not hearing it.
Because you don't even want to listen, and that's why you're about to lose because you don't even have to hear what I have to say.
I can lose this one.
You don't even have to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, I don't need to.
Jaden Daniels and them boys in Washington are already ready to win. They could trade this pick and get out of there.
Yeah,
it's your turn, Gus.
That's a pretty good idea, but I'm going to go with a team that did it last year, and they probably won't see success for another 10 years or so because it's the Browns. Let's be real. But they had success with it last year. They got Carson Schlesinger, Mason Graham, and Quinshon Judkins trading down with Jacksonville. There are a lot of teams that are looking to trade up in the draft right now. I know the Cowboys are. They could build a lot of capital from this. They currently don't have a second-round pick either, and there is a lot of talent in that second-round range. Eli Stowers, Oscar Delp, Diego Pavia. The Browns like drafting backup quarterbacks. They drafted 2 last year in Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So there's talent to be seen here.
Well, the problem is that the Browns could really use some help, and so I think they ought to keep that pick. Picks. But I mean, if you stay where you're at, you're going to
stay where you're at and you get 1 pick, and it's not going to matter.
So you'd rather have a bunch of dudes that you may not trade. They got really lucky last year.
You would rather have one star. You would rather have one
and all them guys that they drafted
one top lottery
late.
pick that may or may not work out around a bunch of bums like the Browns are, and then you're going to be stuck with the offense just being Fannin and Judkins again.
Well, don't forget about Deshaun Watson. he's going to be your starter.
He's
you,
not
you
my
might,
starter.
you might want to
That's
give
not
him.
my
You might
favorite
want to.
team.
You might want to give him some weapons.
Cam 1's favorite team is the Browns. You got to look at him about that.
Well, you might want to give him some weapons over there because he's going to be your starter week 1.
It's gonna be,
That's Cam
it's gonna
3.
be Shedeur.
That's Cam 3.
Oh, that's Cam 3. My
Yeah.
bad. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes.
All right. Thanks for arguing. Coming
that.
up,
You
we
know
take
what,
a
guys?
closer look at one of the best softball teams in all of Kentucky, as the South Warren Spartans have been dominating the nation all year long. Next on The Extra Point.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School, college first-round draft pick. On and off the field, we were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating, but I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. And then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back into The Extra Point. Logan Blanford took a trip down the road to South Warren High School to cover the #1 softball team in the state of Kentucky. Take a look.
The South Warren softball team is undefeated through 23 games and are turning heads across the Commonwealth and the nation.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work in the off season to prep for this season, and these girls have been around South Warren softball for a while, but we have really kicked things into gear this year. I think we have just a whole different outlook and a different mindset on what our goal is to accomplish this year.
The roster boasts a slew of veteran leaders and college softball commits.
I mean, we've all been playing, we've all known each other since we were really little, and then just growing up playing with each other, and then just like including the younger ones too. Like, I mean, it's a great team to be a part of just because we're so bonded. It's probably was one of the best spring breaks I've ever had. It was definitely a grind, just being out there. Like, we've played, I think 12 games at that week. So it's definitely been very tiring, but I think just relying on your teammates and relying on your friends, because all these girls are my friends. They're my best friends. So just relying on them.
These girls have played a lot of softball. Extremely talented group of girls. Definitely the most talented group that we've had come through here. We've had different talented players come through in years past, but not as many in one group.
Obviously, the past few years haven't gone the way we wanted it to. So this off season, just working on the mindset piece more than anything, understanding that some days things are going to go super wrong, but just battling through it. And I think it's obviously shown in this first half of the season for us how big that mindset piece has taken us.
The Spartans believe their time is now. For The Extra Point, I'm Logan Blanford.
So Logan, you were there. Is there anything you didn't include in your package that they said that really impressed you?
Well, yeah, there was one thing I didn't get to include in there that Coach Reynolds told me. It was that after their loss last year in the first round of the state tournament, they had to have a very difficult and long meeting in the hotel afterwards of how do we go forward and get this right? Because we certainly have the team to get this done, and they've come back this year with a massive chip on their shoulder. I mean, they look unstoppable right now. They don't look like losing. And something Coach Reynolds told me after the Bowling Green game last night, I was there for it. She said, they won that game 14-2, mind you, and she was still like, we just came out flat, didn't really play well.
Yeah, they've been impressive all season. But next up, we will take a look at what our EP photographers captured all around the 270, and we will reveal our top plays of the week next in Studio 2.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back to The Extra Point. It's time to take a look at some flicks that our photographers captured in this past semester and our brand new segment, Jacob, Meme It.
Let's take a look at photo number 1. Ooh, what are we thinking here? I'm thinking just, I'm trying to think.
You're in the dust. You're the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Everybody get out the way.
Assumption in the dust, South Warren wins by run roll.
That's what happened.
I just recapped the game.
Let's. You see, we're sliding in. We're on our knees. We're hands are to the side. What do you even say about this?
I don't even know.
It's
just a regular photo. But maybe we have a better meme for number 2. Pull it up, please. What are we thinking here?
Flying to the grocery store to get my Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal.
Yes. Maybe running to the Halloween store to grab a costume. I don't know.
Why would you do such a thing? I mean, we're completely cloaked out in green, so you got to think about this.
Yeah.
Maybe we're heading to go, find a 6-pointer out on the farm.
mean, maybe
completely just hunting. Got the green.
Maybe the green light's on. I don't know. Because he's got green on.
Gator hunting now because it's a green one.
Go.
But now we can finally reveal our top plays of the week. Jacob, what do we have up at number 3?
Coming at number 3, we have Whit Glossick climbing the ladder for this impressive catch. I mean, shortstops are doing that stuff. That's what a shortstop should be doing on your baseball team.
Yep.
Yeah,
jumping up there and grabbing it.
Yeah, great play from the graders.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, you showed it to me earlier. Phenomenal one. But now at number 2, we have Parker Coley hitting this ball out of the park. We talked about it earlier when we talked about Hilltopper baseball. It was just the bombs for them at home.
The hitting was good, and there might be a car with a broken windshield in the Hugh Poland lot. But now coming in for our top play of the week, Bentley Simmons lays out for a diving catch. This play was insane. Ball in the gap, and he tracked it all the way down to stop a Greenwood Gators double. Insane play. Great plays from everybody on that ACS team, but Greenwood's catch may have been a little less important, but they did win that game. So Bentley had a good game.
2 top plays in that one. I
Yeah.
mean, that was just really impressive.
Really good. Hey, the defense stood out in that game. It was really impressive. But, you know, we talked about everything. What is going to be the biggest thing you're going to be looking at this weekend for WKU sports?
For WKU sports, I'm going to be looking at how this softball team could turn it around.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to be most interesting for me. It'll be fun.
But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
And we'll see you next week right here in Studio 2.
But as always, the Echelon is up and it's good.
And it's